He's rude. He's crass. His name is Shin-nosuke Nohara, and he likes to show his, butt. A 5-year-old kindergartner affectionately referred to as Shin-chan, Shin-nosuke hails from the city of Kasukabe in the Saitama Prefecture. He's been entertaining and offending Japanese readers since August of 1990, when Crayon Shin-chan was first published in Weekly Manga Action, and started appearing on Japanese TV sets on April 13th, 1992, where he and his family can still be seen every week on TV Asahi. Crayon Shin-chan is recognizable for its scribbly art style, oblong character designs, and crude humor. Like other shows we've talked about so far, it's a slice of life with most episodes consisting of a few vignettes instead of being one full story. But if you think this is gonna be cute and innocent like Chibi Maruko-chan or Doraemon, you are sorely mistaken. Episodes of Crayon Shin-chan revolve around Shin-nosuke getting into crazy antics and being a nuisance, be it at home, in kindergarten, or in another country, and can range anywhere from Shin-nosuke bothering his friends somewhere unexpected like a restaurant, to an adult showing him something like a back massager, to him and his friends being sloths, to him accidentally blowing up his family's house and starting an entire story arc where his family lives in the crappy apartment. No, that really happens. Some episodes revolve around other characters too, but in the end, he's the title character and his face and butt are all over the place. Shin-nosuke's interests include watching his favorite TV show Action Mask, hitting on women 4 times his age, exposing his ass and dancing, exposing Mr. Elephant and dancing, eating junk food like Chocobi products, making comments about his and other people's bowel movements, and harassing his teachers and classmates at Futaba Kindergarten. In other words, he's a perfect little role model, often being compared to other saints like Bart Simpson and Eric Cartman. He lives with his mom Misae, a flat-chested housewife that is a terror behind the wheel. His dad Hiroshi, a salaryman that likes to flirt with other girls at his office, and his baby sister Himawari, a tiny troublemaker obsessed with shiny objects. Shin-nosuke has some friends too, and even they think the little master of disaster is a handful. Masao Sato, a gentle, wimpy boy in direct contrast to Shin-nosuke's extreme personality. Toru Kazuma, a rich know-it-all boy who constantly scrolls Shin-nosuke's shenanigans. Bo Suzuki, an interesting boy with a love of rocks and a persistent snot problem. And Nene Sakurada, a bossy girl that gets a little too serious about playing house and is best friends with a stuffed rabbit. Together with Shin-nosuke, they make the Kasukabe Defense Force. Crayon Shin-chan is famous the world over, arguably comparable to Doraemon. Just like the robot cat, Shin-chan has had countless movies, video games, toys, and product tie-ins. Even though it is a far younger series, by 23 years to be exact, Shin-nosuke and the rest of the crew in Kasukabe have proven their staying power and marketability. But unlike Doraemon, this is probably the best known anime in the English-speaking world that I've covered so far. This wild slice-of-life show has had a surprising number of adaptations in English, many having been available in Europe and North America. In total, we are going to look at 6 different English dubs. Our story begins in the year 2002. Vitello Productions, a studio in Burbank, California, was commissioned by Lacey Entertainment and TV Asahi to make an English-language version of Crayon Shin-chan dubbed for Saban Entertainment and Fox Kids. When being brought over, this version dropped Crayon from the name and was simply known as Shin-chan, and almost every dub to follow it would use this title. This version of the show was made specifically for children, hence the name Fox Kids. And since the show is very Japanese, a lot of edits focused on Americanizing the show to fit in as a cartoon, as well as toning down some of the vulgarity. As typical for dubs of this era, many names were changed for the broadcast. Shin-nosuke's nickname Shin-chan stayed the same, but that's literally his name, Shin-chan. Everyone calls him that, so I guess his middle name is Chan? The rest of his family had far more significant changes. Misae became Mitzi, Hiroshi became Harry, Shiro became Lucky, and Himawari became Daisy. Shin-chan's classmates had their names changed too. Masao became Max, Bo kept his name, that's easy enough I suppose, Kazuma became Cosmo, and Nene became Nini. Oh, and who could forget Shin's favorite superhero Action Mask? He is the masked muchacho in this dub. So the dub went for an angle of names that are close enough to the Japanese version but are American, so I respect that. Furthering the de-emphasis on Japanese culture, common Japanese items and food are often renamed in this dub, like mochi being called Marshy Puffs. Vitello's editors didn't go ham like 4Kids did with editing out Japanese though. You could see a lot of Japanese written out on ordinary objects and signs, which plays into one of the funnier moments of editing out Japanese culture. The Noharas are on vacation and want to go to a famous pea soup restaurant. They keep emphasizing this place sells only pea soup. It's like, where the heck did they travel to where there's a famous pea soup restaurant? They didn't make any paint edits on the sign, it's a ramen shop. Most anime dubs aimed at children in the 90s and 2000s had their soundtracks changed, and Shin-chan is no exception. The dub soundtrack was produced by New York company Rave Music and composed by Louis Cordelesi and John Lissauer. Rave Music has also worked on some 4Kids productions, including the Pokemon anime, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. John Lissauer went on the record saying he loved working on Shin-chan. The show received a brand new and very catchy opening with this new soundtrack. The lyrics revolve around Shin-chan's troublesome personality, with lines like, "If you're looking for trouble, he's your man," and "a little bit rude, a little bit crude, he's a kid with an attitude." One of the stranger changes is the screen transitions. The original Japanese version only has a handful of screen transitions, but Vitello went the extra mile and used a variety of new ones. One has a bare butt Shin dancing, one has Shin's face flying into the camera, one plays a horn and shows a flag of Shin's face, and one has Shin snapping his fingers. And other than censorship, episodes are also clipped a little bit for sake of time here and there. Even with these edits, Shin-chan made some interesting choices for an edited dub. For example, Shin-chan's world-famous derriere dance is kept in the dub, referred to as the bare butt boogie. It's not uncommon for cartoon characters, especially in that era, to be exposing their rear ends in a hilarious fashion. But I can't think of a show that matches Shin-chan in the frequency of it. Mr. Elephant, though, didn't make the cut. Another aspect of humor not lost on children's TV is adult jokes. Shin-chan's edited dub has a surprising amount of these jokes.
I found it under your bed. Big butt babathon.
Some episodes contain words that would be considered inappropriate, like saying crap or jackass, or using phrases like oh my god and thank god, stuff you never hear in a kid's show.
Thank God.
Well, you can make a geriatric jackass of yourself. I'm going to see the city.
But honey,
On TV broadcasts in the UK and Ireland, these were edited out, but the fact they're in the show at all is odd. And lastly, Shin-chan keeps some references to beer, although they usually call it brew or something. Except for one vignette. Oddly enough, Vitello included a story where Daisy drinks up, soda that's spilled on the floor and gets, sugar rush. Yeah, let's go with that. I don't know why they used this vignette. It's not like there are dozens of others to pick from. But they did, and it's painfully obvious what's going on. One more note is the lip flaps. Sometimes the dub matches the audio to the lip flaps well, but oftentimes it's apparent no effort was made to match it.
I need to talk to Dr. Weinstein.
who's he?
I think he's her therapist. She says he helps her, work out her frustrations.
Because it was recorded in Burbank, California, Vitello Productions had access to a bevy of high-profile voice actors to work on the show. It's only a handful, but many of these names will be familiar to 90s cartoon fans. Kath Soucie voices Shin-chan and his mom. Her resume is expansive and includes the likes of Phil and Lil on Rugrats, Lola Bunny in Space Jam, and many 90s cartoon moms like Miriam Pataki and Dexter's mom. Kath being both Shin-chan and his mom is a testament to her talent. Eric Loomis voices Shin-chan's dad, Harry. He is best known for voicing Marvel's Iron Man in Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Marvel vs. Capcom 3, amongst many other pieces of media. Fun fact, he shares the role of Iron Man with the late Keiji Fujiwara, who also voiced Shin-no-suke's dad. How about that? Other cartoon all-stars on the cast include Patrick Fraley, Gray Delisle, and the late Rusty Taylor, all of whom have worked on a number of top-tier shows over their respective careers. It's made apparent by this point the dub is targeted towards children, but is brimming with personality, which is what's made it a fan favorite in recent years. Shin-chan is given a catchphrase, "Cooley Ooly." He says cheese sandwich as an exclamation. He calls his mom Mamacita, and he loves referencing fictional soap operas. This show also has a lot of funny lines.
Relax, look at the view.
What view? It's just a long, empty road going on forever.
Kinda like being married, huh, Dad?
Oh, I hope you didn't break this darn thing already.
You feel like shooting me, Pop?
Don't tempt me.
Vitello's Shin-chan dub went for 52 episodes, the second season leading off with the big reveal that Shin-chan was going to have a baby brother or sister, even though this character was shown in the opening already. Despite being recorded in the US, Vitello's Shin-chan only aired on Fox Kids in the UK, Ireland, and Australia. There's no known reason for Japan's favorite bushy-browed bad boy not gracing American TVs nationwide, but most likely boils down to a lack of interest from broadcasters. I mean, Vitello Shin-chan is a Japanese show, edited for Americans, voiced by Americans, and with music by Americans, but I guess seeing a 5-year-old's ass on the regular didn't sit well with some people. And 2 of those people were on the cast themselves. Voice actresses Kath Soucie and Grey Delisle both had a dislike for the show. Soucie was asked in an interview with Animation World Network about her most challenging job. She didn't name the show, but there are only so many shows she played a lead in with descriptors like a foreign show with humor that is very different in that part of the world that ran for 52 episodes. Soucie called all the characters unlikable and not anyone I would want to spend even 1 minute with. She only stayed on the show because the director was someone she liked, and she had already promised to do the full series. Soucie ended her comments with, "I decided never to commit to anything I didn't really believe in ever again." So Shin-chan did leave an impact on her career, just not a good one. In a 2010 interview with Pop Dose's You're the Voice, Grey Delisle shared a similar sentiment on Shin-chan. "I was not happy about that show. I know it was a big hit in Japan, but I just don't think it translated to English, and it just ended up being sort of crass, weird. I just did it for the money. I think it was a really great show in Japan that should not have made the move, like so many other things which start out other places and then come to America and suck." Delisle further stated while working on the show, she sat there thinking, "I'm going to hell. This is, like, really bad for my soul." Other countries thought it was cool though, as many European language dubs were based on Vitello's dub, including the French, German, Greek, Spanish, and both European and Brazilian Portuguese dubs. Shin-chan's run on Fox Kids and other networks didn't end there, as there was a change of hands between studios. A different California studio named Phuuz Entertainment picked up the dub and continued it for a whopping 78 episodes, using the same soundtrack and names, but different behind-the-scenes people like voices and directors. Phuuz didn't strictly use a 90s cartoon voice cast like Vitello, but used a lot of people known for their work in anime as well. Shin-chan is voiced by Diane Michelle. Diane hasn't done much for anime, but she was the voice of Daisy Duck in some Disney media. Mitzi is voiced by Julie Madalena, whose voice has appeared on shows like Love Hina, Chobits, and more recently Fire Emblem Heroes and the Bang Zoom dub of Dragon Ball Super. Harry is voiced by Peter Doyle, best known for being in Eureka 7 as Dominic Sorrell and Cyborg 004 in Cyborg 009. He's also provided voice work for Naruto and Fighting Spirit. Other voice actors include Richard Cancino, Michelle Ruff, Barbara Goodson, and Cindy Robinson, names you might recognize from Rurouni Kenshin, Gurren Lagann, Furikuri, and Sonic the Hedgehog. And the dub was directed by Michael Sorich, who has also directed for Digimon, Bleach, Bobobobobobobo, and more recently the Final Fantasy VII remake. Despite having gone on for longer than Vitello's dub, very little footage exists of this dub in English. Most of the info on this dub comes from the foreign versions, which continued to use this version's masters as a base. This dub's masters were used in the Dutch, French, German, Latin American Spanish, and European Portuguese dub. In a stark contrast to Soucie and Delisle of the former dub, Julie Madalena enthusiastically told me at a con Shin-chan was a blast. Peter Doyle also said as much, saying he loved working on the show, describing it as a great gig. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. I did get in touch with Peter Doyle to discuss his role in Shin-chan. He was originally asked to voice match Eric Loomis's performance as Harry, but they didn't like it as much. It wasn't that it was bad, it was just described as being too Homer-y. Hiroshi/Harry is a goofball, but he's not stupid like Homer Simpson. Peter decided to make up his own voice for the character. I did not want to do my own voice while not making him sound too much like a cartoon. I did the first read and they loved it. Peter had a great experience doing the show. The scripts were great, he said, and hardly needed correcting in terms of the lip flaps. Peter wasn't sure why the show never came to America, but says he still gets fan mail about his role in the show. He also doesn't have any clips or episode, nor does he know where to get them other than the few audio clips which exist on YouTube. Shout out to Peter Doyle for helping answer some questions. I couldn't get in touch with any of the other actors in the show. My interaction with Julie was at a con years ago, and I'm certainly not getting in touch with Phuuz founders Ken Dwyer and Jay Francis, as they're now bigwigs for big boys. And by that I mean Ken works for a company called Bureau of Magic, having previously worked for Warner Brothers, and Jay is currently the VP of Disney Television Animation. If I do get in touch with anyone else who worked on the dub, I will do a follow-up video. Phuuz's run with Shin-chan ended in 2005, but it didn't take long for Shin-no-suke to start speaking English again. And that's where we're going to leave it for now. Come back next time when we explore what is undoubtedly the most famous rendition of Shin-chan in English, the Funimation dub. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and you want to see more, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave in the comments, what did you think? Do you have memories of the show? What else should I cover in this series? I'm always listening to more suggestions. Stay tuned after the credits for some outtakes. Shout out to all of my subscribers on Twitch. Pike Mentz, Straw Hat Ryan, Jen, Ritsu's Ass, Gorkovsky II, Maximum Austin, Firearm of Mutiny, Wizard of Oz, KYTRW, and John Moore. Also a shout out to everyone that donated to Extra Life, a charity event I ran in November. Straw Hat Ryan, Janet L, Pilot, Magical Girl Nikki, Firearm of Mutiny, Celeste Sumiki, Macy H, Kate, John Moore, and Sora Hirasawa. That's all I've got for now. I will see you all next time. Shin-no-suke's interests include watching his favorite TV show Axon Mask. Axon Mask? He is best known for voicing Marvel's Iron Man in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's a tongue twister. He says cheese sandwich as an exclamation. There's no known reason for Japan's favorite bushy-browed bad boy not gracing American TVs worldwide. Worldwide, that doesn't work. Best known for being in Eureka 7 as Dominic, but it didn't take long for Shin-no-suke to start speaking English again. That's hard to say. Speaking English.